Come with me on a calming walk around Courage playing fields and the graveyards of St Mary the Virgin Church in Shenfield, Essex. The Courage family's connections to Shenfield go back to the Victorian times, when brewery chairman Edward Courage and his family lived at nearby Shenfield Hall, and they donated this land to the people of Shenfield for recreation. And if you explore this area on foot, you will find some wonderful old graveyards. Some people might think rambling around in old graveyards is a little bit morbid, but for a local historian like me, it's a great source of local history. And every single grave tells a poignant story from the past. I love coming to walk around here because it is like stepping back in time, and you could almost imagine Shenfield Old Village as it would have been in the 1800s. When you get to the end of the playing fields, you walk down this very small country lane with the vicarage on your left. And if you look towards the end of the road, you can see the church steeple there in the distance. And there are some beautiful hydrangeas on the fence here around the vicarage at St Mary's. And this is always a beautiful walk to do in summer when the flowers are in full bloom. And in the graveyard on the right, there are some gorgeous rose bushes, which we're going to have a look at in a little bit. But let's go and have a look at the church. There's some very rich history in this old building because it's been here since the 15th century, and then parts were added on later on in the Victorian times. I made a previous video where I went inside the church and discovered some of the history, and if you check out my YouTube channel and my TikTok, you can see that video here. And there's also a lovely remembrance cross and this old porch, which is one of the oldest parts of the church. And if we pan upwards, we can see the weatherboarded steeple with the cockerel on top, which is the emblem of the Courage family. This is the grave of Ebenezer Jones, who John Betjeman wrote a poem about. And there are also many war graves here too. This is the grave of G.W. Hurrell from the Royal Engineers, who died on the 13th of July 1917. This is the grave of brewery chairman and director Edward Courage, who died aged 71 in 1904. There is one more Courage family grave here, and I will tell you that story in a moment. There are many other graves in this graveyard, and this is a grave of somebody who died aged 26, and it always saddens me to see graves of those people who died young and who never had the opportunity to fulfill their lives. And while graveyards can be sad and sombre places, these roses give it a touch of colour and a reminder that we are all part of nature. And the racing driver Piers Courage is also buried in this graveyard. Born on the 27th of May 1942, Piers Courage was known as the last of the gentleman racers. And just as his motor racing career was taking off, he was tragically killed at Zandvoort in the Dutch Grand Prix on the 21st of June 1970. Piers Courage was only 28 when he died, and his distraught wife, the former Lady Sarah Curzon, was at the trackside when he was killed. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this peaceful and calming walk around St Mary the Virgin graveyards and learning a little bit about the Courage family history and their connections to the area. If you visit the church yourself, you can find lots of information about its history on this notice board in the porch, and it also tells you about the butterfly meadow, which is where I'm going to go for my next video. So thank you for watching, and come and join me on the next video for a walk around the butterfly meadow in Shenfield.